All right, welcome to the Tucker Max Experiences. This is the first episode of a new series I'm doing where I'm going to talk about my experiences. And so the question is why, right? I'll tell you, over the last 4 or 5 years especially, the number one question I've gotten is, how did you go from that guy who you used to be, right? When I wrote I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell and did the movie and all the other books, I was drinking, partying, hooking up, like I was the archetypical kind of crazy person in their 20s. And now I'm married with 4 kids. I live on a ranch in rural Texas. And I spend most of my days taking care of sheep and cows and chickens. And so a lot of people ask, well, how did you do that? How did you go from that guy to this guy? That's what this series is going to be about. How I did that, my experiences, and I'm still doing it. Like, I'm still making that transition. It's not really a finished thing. And so I'm going to talk about that. It's not going to be, if you're looking for a self-help series or a guru series, it's not that. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. There's going to be none of that Tony Robbins rah-rah bullshit. If you want that, cool. That's not me. What I'm going to do is tell you what I've done. And I'm going to tell you what worked. I'm going to tell you what didn't work. And I'm going to tell you why I picked what I picked and what I learned along the way. That's really it. I'm going to tell you a funny story before we start the series about how I picked the name. So, I kind of realized what, like I said, so many people ask me, how did you do this? How did you make this transformation? It's so inspiring, etc. Can you tell me what you did? So eventually I decided to do this, and I was thinking of the name, and I'm like, what do I call it? I went through all these different names. And then eventually I was like, I'll just call it the Tucker Max Experiences. That's unique, and it describes it, and it's kind of cool. And I told my team at Scribe who's doing this, the company that's doing this, called Scribe Media, and the podcast guy goes, "Oh, you mean like Joe Rogan?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about, like Joe Rogan?" I mean, obviously I know Joe Rogan is. He has the biggest podcast in the world, but like that's not, my show's nothing like him. Like, I'm not going to be doing many interviews, many guests. It's mainly just going to be me talking about my experiences. Hence the name. He goes, "Yeah, dude, I know. Joe Rogan's show is called the Joe Rogan Experience." And I was like, what? I mean, I've only listened to 25 episodes. Like, I know the show. I thought it was called the Joe Rogan Show. And so, like, on it, I thought I had this amazing, unique name that no one would ever thought of. I was only copying the biggest podcast in the world.